party people in the place to be. What's going on? It's me. Aside from the fact that Sorkin's camera has been pissing me off all night, I needed that drink because why? Because we're going to talk about The Perfect Guy. This is the spoiler edition of 2 Drink Minimum reactions, movie reviews at the movies for The Perfect Guy. Here's the good part, the acting. You have Sanaa Lathan, you have the flexy sexy ass guy from The Wood, you have the flexy sexy ass guy from, or was he in The Wood? From whatever fucking movie he was in, and a flexy sexy ass guy from Think Like a Man and Think Like a Man 2. All your perceptions about this movie, because it's a black movie, over the last 10 years you've been subjected to the bullshit of black movies that is Tyler Perry. Let me explain something to you, white America. Tyler Perry does not represent black people. Tyler Perry does not represent black movies. Tyler Perry represents the fucking worst of everything. This movie is bad, but it ain't Medea bad. This movie is bad, but it ain't Tyler Perry bad. I was aggravated many times while watching The Perfect Guy. I was never insulted the way I was insulted by the Tyler Perry movies I've seen. I do not have the urge to find the director and smack him across the face until my hand goes raw, and then use the other hand to smack the rest of his fucking face. I do not have the urge to, if I ever see him in public, tell him how shitty a director, a writer, an actor he is. I do not have the urge to tell the writer or the director of this just how badly they have buried black people, just how far they have, and I'm not even pro-black, assalamu alaikum salam. I'm not that dude, but I'm gonna tell you something. My feelings about Tyler Perry are, if I ever saw that motherfucker in public, I would tell that motherfucker off for setting black people back 75 goddamn years for his shitty fucking movies. This movie ain't that bad, but it's bad. It's fucking horrible. And this is why I brought this up too. Because unlike Tyler Perry movies, where they tell you that dark-skinned niggas are terrible, and light-skinned niggas that love their mamas and mow-lawns and love God are good, reverse. The dark-skinned nigga is the good guy, and the light-skinned nigga is the bad guy with the green eye. Yeah, he's got green eyes and good hair, but he's the bad guy. In this movie, Morris Chestnut is already in a relationship with Sanaa Lathan. But things go sour when Sanaa Lathan's character has this bullshit, horribly written fight with him about her wanting kids and him not. Her biological clock is ticking and his isn't. And it's terribly written. Listen, the biological clock thing is real. Women really do have that shit, and it really is fucking annoying when they have that shit. But let me tell you something. The discussions that come up in the biological clock argument, particularly with women who are supposed to have as high paying and as jobs as Sanaa Lathan does, and as highly educated as Sanaa Lathan is, are much more coherent and much better than whatever schlock was fucking written for this scene. Jesus fucking Christ! This shit is terrible! I will probably say this 10 times. New drinking game. You take a shot every time I say it's not the actor's fault. It's the writer's fault, it's the director's fault. Early on, either in the scene where they're at the party where he's playing with the kid, or at the scene where they're arguing because he doesn't want to have a kid and she desperately wants to have a kid, there's an audio where Morris Chestnut says something to Sanaa Lathan that's clearly dubbed in. This is 2015. Why is something clearly dubbed in? Why doesn't it sound like the niggas in the room? Why does it sound like Morris Chestnut went into a sound booth and redubbed his fucking lines? And why is it done so choppily? That is the first indication I had that the editing in this movie was fucking shit. And boy, was I right. The editing in this movie was garbage. The running time for this movie is 1 hour 40. It felt like over 2 hours, even though it was 1 hour 40. And it didn't need to be 1 hour 40. It could have ran 2 hours and been perfectly fine. You know why it could have ran 2 hours? Because the transitions could have been so much better and so much less just chop you off at the fucking knees. Like, it could have been so much more seamless. It's like they were in bad standing with YouTube and they had to get their shit in before 15 minutes. Otherwise, it wouldn't go. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's a major Hollywood production. Take your goddamn time. So, as a result of this argument, flexy sexy ass Morris Chestnut breaks up with fine ass. Jesus, how long has Sanaa Lathan been in the game? Seriously, she is still as fine as day one. What the fuck is this? Like, she is still as fine as wine before and after 9, baby. Like, what is up? Like, how is she still this sexy? After all, how the fuck? How does she still look 28? And before you go and say black don't crack, motherfucker, who are you talking to? I understand that black don't crack, but come on, it ages. And she hasn't aged a day. Anyway, quick cut to her in the office and some meaningless scene with her fucking boss spouting some bullshit. And for a moment, the movie almost got self-referential because the boss said some bullshit platitude to try to ease her pain, and it was like, oh, I don't know. Like, he knew that the line was bullshit, but it was still in the movie anyway. If you have scenes in the movie that you know are bullshit that are still in the movie anyway, why are you cutting for time? Why are your transitions such shit? At some point, and I may be mixing up the scenes, Sanaa Lathan, after breaking up with flex sexy ass dark chocolate nigga, meets flex sexy ass caramel nigga. I wouldn't even say milk chocolate. Caramel nigga. Peanut butter nigga. In a coffee shop, right? And he's so sexy that she can... Oh, Jesus. If you're a feminist, don't go watch this movie. This movie's just gonna piss you off. I'm anti-feminist, and this movie pissed me off. Oh, it's such shit. It's so bullshit. She sees this nigga, and she gets so flustered. She can't even remember her order. And she goes over to get her order, and he's standing there, and his little green eyes. His green eyes are so green. His hair is so wavy. That's my... Oh, you tell me, did you get my drink? Oh, okay, thank you. I'll walk right out the drink. You're so sexy. You're so... I'll get the drink. I think it's like sexy ass man. So he tracks her down to her office, right? And calls her on her office. Terrible writing. Terrible writing. You know why? Because she's in this big swanky office with the window and everything. We have no idea what the fuck she does. Not that it really matters to the plot, except at certain points they bring up her job and aspects of her job. It's ambiguous enough for me to be like, what the fuck does she do? But it's pointless enough so that it doesn't fucking matter what she does. It doesn't fucking matter. It shouldn't. Gone with the hat. They are making too big a point on the fact that she has a high-paying job. Who gives a shit? Or what her high-paying job is. Who gives a shit? Like, her job is fucking ambiguous. And so is flexy sexy-ass caramel peanut butter niggas. It's written fucking terribly. It's goddamn awful. So anyway, he tracks her down, and he makes a point of saying, I work in corporate security, and I know your name. It's not that hard to track you down. Motherfucker, that's horrible writing. You didn't need to say that. You could have just said, I knew your name and I know how to use Google. Like, that's all we fucking needed. So, she ends up starting to date him. He takes her to this random underground club, which I guess is supposed to put him over as seedy, but doesn't, because anybody who's been on any kind of dating site or dates in the last couple years knows that chicks love dark-ass nightclubs and dive bars, for fuck's sake. And then they cleared out the women's room and fucked in the women's room, except it was PG-13 fucking, so it looked ridiculous. It looked ridiculous. I know Sanaa Lathan doesn't really want to do nudity and all that stuff. Fine, baby. You don't have to do nudity. But you could do a sexier scene than the sex scenes that were in this movie. Jesus Christ, this shit was terrible. I get a hard-on for almost everything, and I couldn't get a hard-on for this movie. And it has Sanaa Lathan in it! It has Sanaa Lathan trying to be sexy in this movie, and I couldn't get a fucking hard dick for Sanaa Lathan trying to be sexy in a fucking sex scene! Oh, come on. Oh, it's just bad. So, she, I guess, is falling in love with him. Like, I don't know if she didn't have chemistry with him or what, but she, I guess, was falling in love with him. Everything after the coffee shop was him kind of being a little bit suspect, except, like, you didn't need to do that. Like, you could have played it a little bit subtler. By the way, I guess we're in LA this entire time. If you know the skyline, I guess we're in Los Angeles, and I guess we're going to San Francisco for summer. Who gives a shit? what city any of this is taking place in. It's almost like the movie tried to convey this was LA, but didn't. It was the same thing with the schlockiness. It's like it could have, but it didn't quite, and the fact that it was holding back was fucking against it. Anyway, so we go to San Francisco to meet her parents, played by Charles Don't Call Me Rock S. Dutton and some other random lady, which I thought was a mistake. They could have found Ella Joyce somewhere, aka Eleanor from the show Rock, and had her in there for a cool little cameo, but they didn't. They tricked that shit off. Anyway, so Charles S. Dutton is supposed to be the overprotective father. Time out here for another tangent. Overprotective fathers. Why do you give a fuck who gives your daughters orgasms? Can you tell me that down there in the comment section? Can you tell me why fathers are so obsessed with who their daughters get orgasms from, and two, why it's socially acceptable that fathers are fucking obsessed with who their daughters get orgasms from? Why do you give a fuck? Why? You better not touch my daughter. Why do you give a fuck if somebody fucks your daughter? If she's enjoying it and it's consensual, why do you give two fucks? So he plays that dad. Flex sexy ass Carmel peanut butter nigga gives him tickets to the Giants game because she drops a subtle hint that he's a huge Giants fan, so he buys him tickets to the game. Okay, fine. And they go to the game, and now the father likes him because they went to the game and he got him drunk. And the mother, I don't know that the mother likes him, but she just doesn't not like him. She makes him sleep in separate rooms. You know, she's also concerned about the fucking of her daughter. So now Latham sneaks into the room, and Flex sexy ass peanut butter nigger shakes her off and says, no, this is your parents' house, you have to respect that. Which is odd, but not dangerous odd. It's just, maybe this nigga's gay odd, because Sanaa Lathan comes sneaking into my room. I don't give a fuck. I'm fucking her. I don't give a fuck about grandmother's under the bed. I'm fucking her. Sanaa Lathan just stuck into my room. I'm fucking her. And again, PG-13 movie, because Sanaa Lathan doesn't do the move that could definitely trick this whole thing off and slide the hand down under the covers. No, she slides her hand down towards his crotch, but still like on his... It was blatantly PG-13, this movie. And it's like, this movie is not geared towards or marketed towards fucking teen-year-olds. Make it an R-rated movie and make it a possibly more interesting movie. They're on their way back from this trip. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, so this is the second time something happens where Flex sexy ass peanut butter nigger has to save her from some creepy white dude. And clearly, this is the definition of creepy, and not the stupid little version of creepy that 19-year-old chicks use for dudes who are unattractive. Like, these are dudes who can't take no for an answer. The second time they see each other is at a bar, right? And that's how they kick it off. So they see each other at a bar. She's supposed to meet a friend, but her friend cancels. And then white dude tries to hit on her, and she says, no, my boyfriend's coming. And Flex sexy ass peanut butter nigga, because I can't remember his name. I think it's Ely or something. Flex sexy ass peanut butter nigga comes and saves her from him. Like, what are you looking at, bro? Like, I think she said, why are you still here? Why are you still here? Like, I think he's trying to be hard, but like, it still didn't come off as hard. Anyway, so they're coming back from this trip to Frisco, San Fran, sorry. And he's paying for gas and maybe snacks in the station. And this other creepy white dude who like was just like central casting for creepy, like let's make his hair long and stringy and put him in like a trucker's outfit or something. And I'm like, I wouldn't even necessarily say that truckers are creepy, but like this dude was like the definition of creepy trucker or some shit. Like he's talking about the car, but he's really trying to hit on her, even though the dude's there. Like that's, and he saw the dude. Like that's not something that would ever really happen. Flex sexy ass peanut butter nigger comes out of the store and throws homeboy to the ground and starts punching the shit out of him.